Hey guys, welcome back to Some Crypto. In today's content, I will talk about BTC. We'll take a look at BTC on a macro scale and what type of price action we could anticipate over the next like a few weeks or even like a few months going forward, right? As you may know by now, guys, the market is dipping. BTC dip just about like from you know, let's take a look at it right here on a daily basis. Right after we opened the daily candle, we started dipping just about like a 53 all the way down to like a 41K and all that good stuff. So we will talk about these, what happened and basically what to expect going forward, right? Especially like the end of the year, and are we going to be in a bull market going forward? Is it just a fake out? A great chance to buy most of these alt. As you can see right now, Ether is under 4K. Link is down, Dot is down, Wave is down, Uni is down, everything is down. So it could be a second chance for most of the bulls to basically reaccumulate these alts. So we will talk about some of these alt in the short term. But first thing first, let's go ahead and dive into the analysis regarding BTC, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a monthly basis because, as I said, right, yes, we can dump, right? However, it is too soon, right, to be saying like, oh, we're going to dump down to 30K and all that good stuff because bears, right, they've been bearish since like 30K. So they missed the entire move all the way up to a 69. And back in May, June, July, what we said was like, just accumulate the dips right here, right? And basically, we're most likely going to see higher prices later on, right? So we basically rallied from just about like a 30K all the way up to a 69K. Right now, we're dumping back down to 40K. Is it the end of the bull market? Let's see. We're still above the monthly 21 EMA. And if we take a look at it in term of a 21 day, right? We just hit our 21 EMA once again, just like what happened back in May right here when we got our May dump from just about like a 57, 58. We dumped all the way down to like a 30K. And it wasn't like 30K was a nice number, but if you take a look at it, we said it right even before the dump. We said even if we dump, we still got our 21 EMA on our 3 weeks basis, right? So we got our support right here. Now we're getting another support on a macro scale. Yes, we could make an argument like we could break it because they could flip negative. But one thing to keep in mind, this candle just opened yesterday, right? So we got plenty of time. We got nearly over 3 weeks, actually, just about like 3 weeks to close the candle. So the next 3 weeks, if we do not break out below the 41K support, it could be a boring phase, meaning like price action might just stay in this range and not taking out the October monthly candle right here from just about like a 43 all the way up to a 66K area. So something to keep in mind regarding the higher time frame. It is too soon, right? Once again, we said it back in May after the big dump. We said that's it. No need to be panicking right now. Okay, we just hit our, you know, 3 weeks 21 EMA. If you take a look at it on Bitstamp, right? Let's take a look at it on Bitstamp. Or even on Gemini, right? So if you take a look at it on Bitstamp, right there, after we dumped back in 2017, that's where we got the bounce from, right around like a 6K area and bounce right back up, right there back in 2019. A similar structure, okay? 2021 similar structure. Can we break it this time? We just have to wait over the next like a few days and so on, and to basically see how the 3D time frame going to be suppressing the price right over the next like a few days and so on. So the 3D time frame, okay, speaking of the 3D time frame, we're going to skip the monthly, take a look at the 3D, and we're going to go back to the monthly, right? You take a look at the 3D time frame right here. What I was saying was like, it is not time to be panicking, right? However, if we open and close a candle below the 3D 21, it could be, it could be bad in the short term, right? That's what happened right here. We open a, opening candle right around like, 50K and so on and close below it. Actually, we did not even close below it, but we pump right here, dump right back below it, open and close a candle below it, and basically capitulate it, right? So that's the same thing we did right here. The only difference is like we did not push to the upside back to like a 63, 64K area, right? So 3D time frame, in order to basically flip bullish, we will need to get back above the 3D 21. Okay, and it could take time. I'm not sure if bulls going to be strong enough, to give us a U shape right here, okay? A U turn all the way up to like a 58 to a 60K. Okay, because most people are going to be panicking right now, and they're going to be like, okay, we're going to be waiting for 30K. But once again, if we take a look at the monthly time frame right now, the monthly is right now just about like a 36, low 36K, okay, 36.3. So if we back test it, we know breaking below the monthly 21, it is not a good sign. However, just to break the monthly 21, it generally take like, let's say 4 to 6 months. Okay, so if you take a look at it right here, back in 2018, after we retested the monthly 21 back in June 2018, okay, we did not capitulate below the 21 EMA till basically November. Okay? Right here, similarly, we retested it like in October and did not really capitulate, right? 6 months later, like back in March and something like that, right? March 2020. So what I'm trying to say is like we can still retest the 21 EMA on the monthly, but I wouldn't be back. Okay, so I don't think like it is even time to be bearish when you take a look at it on a 3 weeks basis. If you want to front run the price, bang. Okay, so we already are support. I'm not saying it cannot drop, but it has to close below it. Okay, and even if we close below the 3 weeks 21, as I just said, we still got our monthly 21. Okay, so 30K, could we retest it? Yes, we can, but we still have to break out below the monthly 21, right? So something to basically keep in mind. Now let's take a look at BTC on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, we're not looking great. I know most bears, they've been calling it like forever. They've been saying like, oh, 69, 65 going to be the top and all that good stuff. But the thing is, until you cross bearish right here, right, it is not easy to say it is a bearish divergence. Okay, because if it is not crossing bearish, you cannot just call it like bearish. What I mean by it, the MACD. Okay, right now we're getting a negative crossover, so bears could start to celebrate and saying, oops, we're going to be dumping to 10K and all that good stuff. Okay, some bears, they're still waiting for 10K, okay, like the 10K bear, right? So good luck with that, right? So let's see if we ever going to see BTC at 10K. I'm not saying we won't, but realistically, right, we got to break out below 30K even before we talk about like a, even before we talk about like a 10K. And right now, the 200 weekly moving average, it is just about like a 18K. So, it doesn't just make sense as of now to try to anticipate like a 10K too soon, okay? So weekly divergence right now playing out. So BTC, short to medium term, it is starting to turn bearish, especially after the breakout below the 3D 21, okay? So bears right now, they got pretty good argument, right, about the bearishness, okay? So now, let's take a look at BTC, right, on a 2D basis. So when we take a look at BTC on a 2D basis, what we can notice is like right here, we got a very strong negative momentum, okay? Even before the drop, it looks better on a daily basis right here. Okay, it looked right there, okay? Whenever you see this type of momentum like that, right, you just have to be cautious. I mentioned it like so many times, right? Even right here before the dump back in September, mid-September, what I was saying was like this type of negative momentum, right? Whenever you see them, be cautious, okay? If you're bullish, be cautious. If you're bearish, it's all yours, okay? If you're a bear and you see this type, you can even see it like on the hourly, like, it doesn't matter. The time frame doesn't matter, okay? It is just a pattern, okay? When the MACD pushes towards the signal line, and you can see like the negative momentum forming, okay? You be like, okay, it is time to suck it up, okay? It is time to suck it up and either put a stop loss or not try to go against the momentum, okay? Because the momentum can be also to the upside, just like what happened right here, okay? The momentum can also be to the upside. meaning like MACD will try to kiss the signal line and just go ballistic like that. And if you take a look at it, that's exactly what happened right here. Okay, we dump all the way down to like a 38 and push all the way up to like a 52. So daily it is still negative, right? So let's take a look at BTC now in terms of Fibonacci, right? So in terms of Fibonacci, I was saying like if we break out below 57, no need to be long in it and all that good stuff. Because the range we could be looking at, if we break out below 50, not 57, but 52.7, it is going to be 50% to 0.618. And as you can see right here, we just got the bounce, right around like 42, okay, depending on which exchange you're using. So the momentum, it is still negative, so we still need to wait for the next like a few days to see if BTC going to be breaking out below the 41k area. Okay, so if we break out below the 41k, we still got support right there. It's about like a 30, 34, 35, which is basically just about like the monthly 21 EMA. All right, so if you take a look at the monthly 21 EMA, right there, 36. Okay, so but it can still wick down, right? So it doesn't have to just kiss the monthly 21 EMA. It can reach below the monthly 21 EMA, but doesn't close above it, right? So hopefully it makes sense, right? So area to keep an eye on over the next like a few days, 41, right? 43 area. And if we break out below it, you can basically start to look for the monthly 21, okay? Because below the monthly 21, most of the time it is capitulation. So I don't see the capitulation, right, to start like around like a 65 all the way down to the monthly 21 and still capitulate down. You see what I'm saying? So if you take a look at it right here, what I'm trying to tell you is like whenever we dip down to the monthly 21, right, we tend to what? Dump 40 to 50%. Right here back in March 2020, most of you guys remember what happened back then. We dumped like nearly 45% below the monthly 20. Okay, so right there back in 2018, bang, okay, 53%. Okay, so we got to hold the monthly 21. Okay, we got to hold the monthly 21 if we get there. Okay, if and only if we get there, right? Hey, what's up, Jude Moonboy? Thanks a lot for tuning in. What's up, Dr. Felt Natch in the house? Thanks a lot for tuning in. All right, you just bought the dip and you're trying to go to the strip club and all that good stuff. All right, enjoy, okay? So, guys, don't forget to hit the likes if you find the content useful. Hey, what's up, Craig? So let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. Now, I'm still holding, man. The macro view. Most of these alt they still haven't yet. Okay, we will talk about like some of these alt like EWT, UMA, and basically EWT, UMA, and Mirror. Okay, they type of a pattern. Okay, they started like back in 2020. We could see those patterns. Let me just show you a UMA, right? Not UMA, but EWT. So if you take a look at EWT, right? Let's take a look at EWT before we take a look at Ether. So if you take a look at EWT, the double top, double bottom, the double top, double bottom we got right here. Okay, we started like back in July 2020. We got our first top, right? And guys, these are macro, okay? They could take like 4 to 6 months to play out. So if you panic for a 30% drop, 40% drop, I know it is a lot. However, when these guys pump, they're not going to pump 30%. They pump like 10, 20, 30. You guys know our targets. Most of our targets we got back in March, requests, okay? Just pump like nearly, 10x, okay? CHR pump a lot, okay? And you name it, CRR just pump like from 300 sats all the way up to a 1500 sats. When we were buying it, CRR was just about like a 300 sats. So we got plenty of alt, right now, okay, still consolidating. BZRX, it is still consolidating. You got like a, Blue Zell still consolidating, okay? So many alt, okay, they just consolidating, and they most likely going to be breaking out. So just have to suck it up throughout the process and be patient. Okay. So when we take a look at EWT, we got a double top. We got a double top, right? A double bottom, right? It means like it is a macro correction. So if you take a look at a coin like DOT and many other alt, okay, it doesn't have to be DOT, okay? It could be creating this double top, double bottom, meaning like, yes, you could be expecting saying like, oh, BTC will drop down to like a 30K, but BTC, if the BTC dominance is going up, BTC might not retest 30K. And we will talk about the BTC dominance. So for instance, if you see DOT somewhere around here, you're going to be like, okay, let's go back to EWT. Okay, you're going to be like, all right, that's the same pattern we got on EWT. So I can be bearish on DOT. You see what I'm saying? So if you see these type of patterns, it only means like they consolidated. Okay, so what I'm expecting, okay, it doesn't have to play out, but what I'm expecting is like EWT, right? Could already been done, right? It's done already, like with its pattern, and it could be pushing to the upside while the rest of the alt dumping. See what I'm saying? So we will see if these patterns will play out, and then we're going to get the the pattern already from EWT, UMA, and all that good stuff, and sucker could be pumping all the way up to 140 to 150. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Back in April, started pumping first, consolidated for nearly a year, and now it could start its big move. Okay, it just has to stay above like a $5 because bears most likely going to start to draw some head and shoulder pattern formation and all that good stuff. So you just have to avoid dropping back down to the macro support trend line. Okay, otherwise, the 10K bear will be drawing a head and shoulder pattern, and I'm pretty sure he won't be hesitating to short this sucker all the way down. Okay, but overall, it looks pretty good, right? So now let's go back to Ether. Hey, what's up, Cannibal Wealth? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Ether BTC flipping BTC. We will see, okay? So now let's go back to Ether because Ether 3D time frame, right? It is quite important, right? It is quite important to pay attention to the Ether 3D time frame. As you can see right here, what we've been saying recently, right, is like if we get back above the 3D 21, right, we have to stay above it, okay? Because MACD right here is still negative, okay? If you recall what happened back in April, May for BTC, right? We go back and take a look at BTC on the 3D basis. The pattern we got right there, that's when we started to say, okay, guys, MACD is negative right here, right? Continuing to be negative, and price action just starting to, dip below it. Even if we pump back up, let's just be cautious. So we dumped down here. We said, okay, guys, let's be cautious now, right? Because, MACD is negative. If you take a look at Ether right now, it is not, it is not the best time to be extremely bullish on Ether after we, after we start to dump below the 4K area, below the 21 EMA. Okay, so Ether, it is still near all-time high. It's not like Ether is down like 60%, 70%, right? So you take a look at it, all-time high, just about like a 4.8. So it is only down like 20%. So, and if you've been following us, right, you haven't been buying Ether like, above like 47, 48. Okay, so we've been bullish on Ether right here. We've been bullish on Ether right here. So it is a good time to reassess. I'm not telling you to buy or sell, right? But just reassess, just in case we dip lower on Ether. Okay, so support area to keep an eye on for Ether. Ether back in May, we did not retest the 3 weeks 21. So the 3 weeks 21 EMA for Ether going to be somewhere around like a 26 on the macro scale. I don't think we're going to get there tomorrow, but who knows, okay? It could take weeks, okay, to retest these levels, right? So if you want to take a look at it on a lower degree, on a weekly basis. If we just want to basically take a look at it right there on the lower degree, we could be looking for support right there. Okay, depending on how you want to draw it. Okay, if you're very aggressive and you're very bearish, let's take a look at the support area first. Okay, 31, right, 32 area down to 28. Actually, quite a quite deep. I was first drawing it right here, and we hit our 0.618 and bounce right back up, right? The support, the lows from just about like 26, swing low and swing high just about like 48, right? So 50% to 0.618, that was my initial support area I was anticipating right here. However, if you want to be bearish, right, you could draw it from here, right? Meaning like 0.618 going to be somewhere around like 26. And if you are a 10K bear, you could be drawing it from the absolute bottom right there, from the July lows. No, not from the July lows, but from the, March or, April 2020 lows, which mean like, you're still going to get like 1700, okay? But it is too soon. Okay, these are not my targets. I'm not looking for 1700 right now. We got to take out the weekly 21 first. Okay, we got to take out weekly 21 before we talk about like a 1700 and all that good stuff. Because if Ether dominance remains strong, we might not even dip that low. Okay, because you got to keep an eye on Ether dominance. The Ethereum dominance, it is still breaking out. So it doesn't matter how low Ether drops, as long as the Ethereum dominance goes up, right? Ether could basically remain strong. You see what I'm saying? So something to keep in mind. We talked about it in my premium. I said, okay, Ether most likely going to be breaking out all the way up to 23, 25, which is a good sign for the market. It means like once we tap out right here, we could see like alt bull market, meaning like Ether gonna lose like some of the dominance, right? And altcoin could basically start a bull market. Okay, so something to keep in mind. It is still strong. It is still up 20%, right? Back in May, after we dumped, it was like 16% dominance. Right now, we just dump, it is 20% dominant. So, dang, okay? And it is still higher than, the May highs, right? Nearly. So I would still be cautious regarding Ether and not to be too bearish and try to short it and all that good stuff. If you're looking for lower prices, yes, you can still like not financial advice, but you can still like reaccumulate the dips and all that good stuff. Because I don't think like the bull market is over, right? The bull market, if we're going to be expecting the bull market to be over, we will need the BTC dominance, right, to capitulate. Okay, we will need the BTC dominance to break out below 39.5. Okay, once we hit like 25%, 20%, and all that good stuff, then we could start to call for a bear market. Okay, but let's see, BTC is down, the Bitcoin dominance is down. It is just hard to be bearish, okay, overall on the macro scale. Okay, so let's see if BTC will find support at 39.5. And if you guys recall back in September, what I was saying was like we're going to be pushing back up and we're going to be capitulating, and that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, but the BTC dominance cannot keep dropping while BTC dropping. That's why I'm saying like it will be hard, right, for BTC to retest like 30K, right, and the BTC dominance dumping below 30%. I mean, dumping below 39%. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I would just be, just be cautious and not try to be extremely bearish in the market. Because back in May, if you bought anything like back in May, not anything, because if you bought XRP back in May, it didn't do much. But but if you bought like most alt back in May, bought the dip even May, June, July, some of them pump like 10x, 20x. Okay, so and most of these alt will be pumping 10, 20x again. Okay, in the next like a few months and so on. So I would just be, stay bullish in the market and until we get a clear directional move, especially below the monthly 21. Hey, what's up, Mike? Thanks a lot for tuning in. So guys, if you want me to take a look at any alt, let me know so I can take a look at your alt. Yeah, the BTC dominance falling is weird because Ether, it is still strong. That's what I'm saying. Ether is not dropping very, very aggressively like most of these alt. So if Ether remains strong, right, the BTC dominance will be falling if BTC drops. See what I'm saying? Because 20% is a lot, okay, for the, so but that's what I'm expecting. Let's see, okay, over the next like a few days, over the next like couple of weeks, right? If the BTC dominance will bounce back up or if the BTC dominance will capitulate, right? If we get a capitulation, guys, most of these suckers gonna pump hard, okay? So they're gonna pump hard. Hey, what's up, dude? Moonboy, thanks a lot for tuning in. So now let's go ahead and take a look at total two. Yeah, everything is red, guys. Everything is red except Ether dominance and Ether BTC. Okay, so Ether BTC, it is still looking good. It could pump all the way up to like a 0.1 BTC. MACD, it is positive right here. So hard to be bearish on Ether, guys. Hard to be bearish Ether. Yes, Ether USD can drop. However, if BTC drops more, right, it means like Ether going to remain strong against BTC. So if you're trading Ether BTC, you're still massively up. Okay, this year you're still massively up. So wouldn't basically be looking at Ether USD at all. So if we take a look at the total two, we just hit support just about like a 1.8 trillion. So I don't see us breaking out like below 1 trillion at any given time, right? So we just hit support right here. If we can basically retest the support area, just about like a 1.8 trillion, we could look at it as a potential correction like that. Okay, just like that, and we could be pumping to the upside later on. Okay, so overall, once again, the market, it is still bullish on the macro scale. As long as we above the monthly 21, we're not basically consolidating above the monthly 21, we're still bullish. Okay, so keep an eye on the 1.8 to 1.9 range, for the macro support regarding the total market cap. Hey, what's up, strengths? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the XLM. So XLM BTC, it is still very, very undervalued, right? So we're still looking for those, we're still looking for these big targets up to like a 1600 sats and all the way up to like a 3000 sats. So XLM hasn't been doing nothing at all over the last few years. Since like September 2019, we've just been moving sideways. So let's see if we can stay in this range of 500 sats to 600 sats over the next like a few weeks to basically find a strong support with good volume, because the volume, it is still low. We got a good volume last year, just about like January actually, right? We got a big volume right here. Also back in November 2020, we got a big volume, but we still haven't been able to break out massively, right? So we still have support as of now. So let's go ahead and take a look at BZRX. So BZRX, I mean, what we said regarding BZRX, accumulation range, just about like a 500 sats to a 600 sats. It is still above, 500 sats. We just broke out above the weekly 21, getting a slight rejection. We take a look at it on a 3D. We're looking very good, right? We just got to get above the histogram right here on our 3D basis. But we're looking extremely bullish, okay? Once we start trending above the histogram right there, we could be retesting our 2000 to a 2100 range, okay? 2200 range, okay? So BZRX could still get the job done. First target just about like a 2000 to a 2200, okay? And the absolute target could be somewhere around here, 6000 range. Is going to be a nice 1100% if we manage to push all the way up to a 600. It could take months, guys. Once again, these targets, okay, they're not meant to be like a 2 weeks target, 3 weeks target, okay? As you can see, requests, we talked about requests back in March. We talked about requests back in March. Okay, what I was saying was like right there, okay, when request was somewhere around like a 150 to 250, I was saying max target all the way up to 2000. Okay, March we didn't hit it till November. So if you ain't patient, right, you won't be able to wait. Okay, you won't be able to wait these big juicy targets, 10x target. Okay, BTC doesn't move like 10x every year. So even if you hold an alt and it pumps like 10x in 2 years against BTC, it is still pretty good. Okay, it is still pretty good. It means like you 10x your BTC. Okay, and if BTC, let's say, goes like 4x in that same time period, right? You multiply 10 by 5, you 50x your money. That's why it is good to hold alt, especially from the bottom, because most of the time, guys, I know you guys don't notice it, but I do not give like any setups, right, after they break out. Most of my setups, okay, they at the bottom. They at the bottom. So it means like even if we dump, they're going to pick right back up. Okay. But let's say if I give you a setup for request to buy at like let's say 700, okay, or like a 800, it could still dump all the way down within the next like a few years, and you have to wait for like a maybe 18 months to 24 months before even you get another bullish pattern, because it is against BTC. It can drop all the way down, right? I'm not saying it will, but I wouldn't be basically be buying like above like a 1500, 1700 and all that good stuff. When I said, request will, is requesting a pump, request was just about like a 200 sats. Okay. So now EOS got EOS got a big dump below support. So the thing with these macro setup is like they can break out below support. Okay, these macro double tops, right? Sometimes they can break out below support as low as like 40-50%. But the thing is, if you understand what's going on, you won't be selling like below support. Okay, I know most people are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna put my stop loss right here. Yes, you can put your stop loss right here. If you don't have it, if you don't have your coins in a ledger, right, you can put your stop loss right there. But you got to get, you got to have the, you got to have the discipline to rebuy the dip. Okay, otherwise, okay, this sucker next pump could be very fast. It could be very fast, right? So we just need to get back above support right here, just about like a 7,000 to a 8,000 range. Get back above the 21 EMA. The 21 EMA, it is right now just about like a 7666. Okay, if we can pump above the 21 EMA on our 3D basis, we can still break out all the way up to like a 23 to a 25,000 sats. So keep an eye on EOS. A very good example is like a ETC. So if you take a look at ETC, I was bullish on ETC right here, right? I was like, okay, support going to be somewhere around like 45,000 to 55,000. So if you gave up on ETC after it dumped down, like it dumped like nearly 60%, right? So if you did not accumulate the dip after, it started to move sideways, you're going to miss the entire 10x. Okay, it's nothing you can do. It is a double bottom. You don't want to be shorting a double bottom. You want to be buying a double bottom, right? Instead of shorting a double bottom. If it dumps lower, yes, it might hit your stop loss if you have one. If you don't have, if you, let's say you short-term trading, whatever. But if you macro trading, you got to reaccumulate after a 50% discount below support area. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at EOS USD. So EOS USD, what I was saying was like, okay, we got a floor right here, 3 to 5. However, if we break it, we break out below the support area, we're still going to be, retesting our macro support right here. Just by like a $2 to 250. Okay? So the upside target for EOS, it is still the same, all the way up to nearly like a $14, and could even go much higher depending on the how the EOS BTC will be performing in 2022. Okay, if we take a look at it in terms of trend lines, we got our resistance trend line right here on a 3D basis. We'll need to get above it over the next like a few weeks, and basically once we get above our trend line right there, we test it, we can basically start to look for these macro targets. Okay, but as of now, we capitulated down, so we got to get back above the trend line support. We seen it last year. If you guys recall back in December 2020, what happened regarding EOS was like we also dumped massively, nearly 40%. Okay, the last week, the last week of December. Okay, mid-December to the last week of December. So it could be the same, but let's see. Okay, but if we get back above like a $4.45 range, bang, it's all yours. Okay, especially if we can break out above the trend line resistance right here. So keep an eye on your 3D time frame, right? Versus BTC, and at the same time, versus the dollar. Okay. All right. Look at that BCH. So BCH, or also drop all the way down to like the July lows, which is actually crazy. Very few alt jump down to the July lows like sushi, and I think I was talking about Neo also, right? Regarding Neo retesting like 25, but I was like, okay, just cover the downside because sushi already retested the July lows. So sometimes these alt, they just like, they do the same thing. Okay, if one alt like retest a macro support, most of these alts sometimes they go ahead and retest those levels, right? Especially a mid-table alt, right? So we dump below the July low, so we just have to respect the support area right here. Okay, we have to respect it. Otherwise, if we dump below it, the next macro support could be somewhere around like all the way down to like a $200. Once again, I'm not saying it will dump all the way down to $200, but just have to keep an eye on it just in case something crazy happens, right? And you see like a Bitcoin Cash all the way down to like a 250 to 220 range. Okay, that's the next market support. Everything else could be just, you know, another consolidation, either to try to break out to the upside or to basically retest the support area. And once again, just like EOS, we need to break out above the resistance trend line, right? Okay. But as of now, we'll just, you know, keep an eye on $400 within the next like a few days. As of now, we just bought like a 450. So one chain, I like one chain a lot, not in terms of like a project, right? But in terms of like a pattern. If you take a look at one chain, you could get a gigantic, inverse head and shoulder if we basically retest the, 2000 to actually a 3000 area right here. Okay, the chart looks extremely bullish. I know market is dumping. It sounds crazy to say like a one chain looks great, but the bullish divergence we got right here, that's our basically main topic regarding alt season. Whenever we get a 3D bull divergence, we know alt season is on the way. Okay, we know alt season is on the way. So market is dumping. So you've always got to take a look at the big picture, not just like we dump like a 20% in one day. We've seen these dumps like 10 times this year. I don't know how many times, right? But we could say like 8 to 10 times this year at least. Okay, I can't remember like some dates like December 24th, right? January 8th, right? February 12th, okay? April 14th, May 17th, okay? And many other dates like September 7th. So we already got like, I can already talk about many of these, dumps like on top of my heads, right? So just because we dump like 20% in one day doesn't cancel a bull market. Okay, that's not how we're supposed to look at the market. Okay, so but one chain, I think like it is gonna take over at some point. Okay, I just don't know when, right? But if we can basically hold our 3D bull divergence, right, we could be blasting off. Okay, all the way up to like a 13,000, and right now we just about like a 15,000. Okay, 1,500 actually, right? So it looks pretty juicy. All right, looks pretty juicy. So now let's go ahead and take a look at 589. So 589, they're most likely going to be stepping up, right? So they're going to be calling for what? They're going to be calling for a head and shoulder pattern formation right there. Okay. So, but let's see the 3D divergence, right? 3D bull divergence, it is still in play, even though we dumped down. If we can get back above the 1700, right, 1800 sats, we most likely going to avoid the continuation. Okay, but we got to get back above this range. Okay, if we don't, I would just wait over the next like a few weeks to see if XRP, right, can retest like 0.786 right here, all the way down to like a 886. Okay, sats. Okay, 886 sats. Just to round it up, let's say 900 sats. Okay, but you're gonna be like, Sen, why not 0.618? I mean, you can start to accumulate at 0.618 also, right? But points, just about like so, just about like a 1200 down to 900 sats. So let's go ahead and take a look at and so it's pretty new. I can't do anything with it right now. just got that big wick to the upside. So it looks much better USD. I mean, it looks pretty good, but kind of overextended. So on your MACD, not MACD, but on your RSR, you got a double top, double bottom right here. So the problem is it going to basically continue to the downside? That's the only problem. However, if we push back up on our RSI, it means like price action will continue high. So it looks pretty good, but just be cautious, okay? So we're still above the 3D 21. If we break out below the 3D 21, it is probably time to, pack your bags, right? You got a big macro support right there, 2.7 down to 150. We basically a breakout below the but volume looks pretty juicy, so we'll just give it like a few more weeks, right? If you take on some profits, you might basically want to reaccumulate right here. All right, Wonder Boy in the house. Thanks a lot, KY Effect. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Frank's in the house. KAOSFR in the house. It's Reza in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Make sure to hit the likes, guys. Make sure to hit the likes. Join the public Telegram group, and So let's go back to Ethereum and take a look at Ether on a lower degree. Ether, it is still looking pretty strong. I just don't like that 2D, man. I just don't like the Ether 2D. That's my only problem right here. And on top of that, Ether, we got a wedge pattern. It looks very strong against BTC. But just have to pay attention to these little details, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at Mana. So Mana macro support is going to be right here, somewhere around like a $150 to $2 if we get a a very overextended wave to the downside, okay? Beside that, if we want to take a look at it on the daily, it looks pretty normal. It looks like a ending diagonal right here, and we just retesting support right here. We can hold support right there. Mana could still form to the upside with the double top double, okay? But we will need the daily MACD to flip positive. If not, look for support 150 on the macro scale, okay? Take a look at Dragon channel is going back to the January lows right here, okay? It did have a nice bull divergence. It is still in a bull divergence, right? It is still in a bull divergence. So will it fade away? If we break out below the support right here, the bull divergence will fade away. Okay? So it means that we're most likely going to be breaking out below. But let's see, if we're going to hold support all the way down to like a 130, 120 range, Right now we just about like a 167, right? Sats. 167 sats, okay? So the macro resistance you gotta pay attention to, it is going to be all the way up to like a 1600. I mean, not 1600, but 1300 to a 1400, right? So it got a massive potential. It is just a matter of time when it is gonna do it. Okay, got a nice 10x. All right. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I know market was going crazy, over the last few hours and all that good stuff. So just be open-minded about the macro view. You know, the BTC dominance is going down. BTC is going down. It is not a very bearish pattern. If we go back and take a look at the daily, we could see the BTC dominance could push back up a little bit, right? All the way up to 47, 47 by 44. If we take a look at it on the daily right here, we got a potential dominance breakout. Okay, if we get the the bull divergence right here, we can still push back up to like a 44%, which is going to be a bearish pattern, right? And after that, we could be looking for the because we're not even getting a bull divergence on the daily. Okay, the bull divergence is only on the 8-hour to a 6-hour time frame. Okay, so it could only be a 6-hour to a 8-hour type of a breakout, meaning like we could break out all the way up to resistance, all the way up to 43, and still dump later on. Okay, so let's see, because I don't see the BTC dominance dumping and BTC dumping at the same time, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.